I talked to previous patients who said they paid like $160 a week to come in here. Do you feel that may be kind of taking advantage of somebody who is looking for help by charging them that amount of money? You know, if they can't afford health insurance or they can't afford anything else, I just have a hard time understanding how they can afford $160 a week.
Well, I don't know where the $160 a week came from.
That's just from us. I don't know what you charge. It's just a patient I talked to who told me that's what he paid.
We charge $50 for an initial visit, and that includes a complete history, physical, laboratory work, addiction severity index, COW score, visit with a counselor, group meeting, visit with a physician. Then they have to be seen weekly at $100 a week for a month because it's a more intensive part of the therapy. As they stabilize and do better, when you go to monthly visits, it's $325 a month. With that, we run on about a 2 to 3% profit margin. Nobody here is running away with bags of money. Everything that we have, we put back into our patient care and into our staff to train our staff and make them better educators and better staff members. To answer your question more specifically, many of these people were operating on easily $30 to $50 to $100 a day habits. On a $30 a day habit, that's $900 a month, right? We charge $325 for a month of care here.
If I have diabetes and I go to a doctor, I'm going to find eventually a doctor that's going to accept health insurance. In fact, most of them will accept health insurance to treat a disease. Can you kind of explain to me why not a single clinic around here or anywhere really in the country accepts health insurance?
Absolutely. I can certainly do that. Are you familiar with the Domenici-Wellstone Parity Act that was passed some years ago?
No.
That act is a federal act that requires that health insurance companies, Medicaid, and the federal government treat mental health and substance abuse issues as on par with, parity with medical issues. If you go see a diabetic specialist, you'll have to pay a copay if you have insurance. Number one, if you have insurance, right? Not everybody has insurance in spite of our best efforts. You'll pay a copay, and then the doctor will see you and will be able to bill a level 3 or a level 4, and he'll be able to collect anywhere from $75 to $150 for that visit. It's pretty standard. If you go into the insurance covers mental health at all, they have caps, they have limits, and in the state of Tennessee, for a doctor's visit for mental health services, the reimbursement's $37. Now, as you can see from our facility and from our staffing, in order to provide what the American Society of Addiction Medicine, the American standards of care are, peer support counseling, group meetings, adequate facilities, case management, electronic medical records, and the fact that the government capped us at only being able to see 100 patients at a time, under that model, if I accepted insurance, I would be able to bring in $3,700 maximum from what I could legally be allowed to see. Do you think it would be possible to operate this facility for half of a day for $3,700? It's simply not possible. Now, it is possible if you were running patients through and seeing a minute per patient and charging their Medicaid a minute per patient and billing them out, you could probably generate more income, but you'd still be capped by the fact that the government says you can only see 100 patients. So even if you saw 100 patients in one day, that would be it for the month, right? There's no way that you can run an appropriate facility with what insurance companies pay for mental health, which is why it's going to require direct action against the insurance companies, TennCare, Medicaid, the federal government, and require them to adhere to the Wellstone-Domenici Parity Act and actually pay the same for addiction treatment as they do for heart treatment or they do for diabetes treatment. That's the problem. We'd be more than happy to accept insurance. We have looked at insurance models over and over again. It's absolutely simply not feasible. In Tennessee or in Kentucky, they have tried really hard to force an insurance model, and they can do it if they have a patient that comes in to see the doctor, and then another time they come in to see a counselor, and then another time they come into a group meeting, and then another time they come into case management, and then they come back to see the doctor. So these patients are having to come to the treatment facility anywhere from 5 to 10 times in a month. And each one of those is getting a small billable amount of money, $30 to $45. By doing that, they're able to accumulate enough to actually make a treatment facility work. But it's an incredible burden on these patients. I mean, these are working poor. They don't have gas money. They can't take an hour out of their day. Hey, but doc, I have to go back to the doctor for the 7th time this month, right? It just doesn't work that way. It's not a workable model.